Hey everyone, so long time no video. I checked and I think my last video was in March, so that was over 5 months ago. And truly, March feels like a lifetime ago. Like, I don't even feel like the same person I was back then. And over those 5 months, I've kind of been out of the photocard game and kind of not that interested in K-pop lately, but I've definitely got back into it and I'm much more into collecting photocards again, so I can't wait to put all these cards away because over those months, I've accumulated around 220 cards, so it is finally time to put them all away. So as usual, I'm going to start out with a bunch of my smaller collections. So first we'll start with zb1. And I have a few cards from their You Had Me at Hello. I am so far behind putting these away. They just had another comeback, but I have a few cards for this comeback. I'm not really collecting this album thoroughly, just a few cards here and there, because I'm really trying to step back from collecting a bunch of groups, but I loved these cards, and two of them were actually gifts from one of my favorite managers at work. She's also into zb1 and got me 2 albums, and the pulls were these 2 from their digipack. Not gonna lie, I didn't really love their photocards that much for this era, except for a few sets, so I just decided to only collect the ones I really liked. And here's this set, by far my favorite because they were all outside. And then the only other cards I have for this comeback are these ones of my top 2, and then the matching units from the same concept. Not sure what else I'm gonna put on the bottom of this page, because I like doing my zb1 layouts like across the top, but I'll figure something out eventually. And I'm just doing them like this because their units like flow into each other. And that was everything I had for them, just these 8 cards, but I did really like this comeback, and I thought it was probably my favorite mini album from them. Next up, I have 3 really random old Stray Kids cards. I don't really keep up with Stray Kids much anymore, but one of my friends' old Stray Kids, so sometimes my interest picks back up because of her. The first one I have is actually from ages ago. All the way back here with No Easy, so I have this Hyunjin double-sided card, which I think I got on Pokemarket, and I was just gonna wanted this card to finish this page. So he's gonna go right here. Now I have my top 4 of these cards, finally. And then the last 3 cards I have are all from 5-star. A few of these pages I condensed because I honestly was never going to go back and finish these, so I just kind of combined these Polaroids with these Target cards and then moved on. So the cards I have are these ones. Yeah, I was gonna reorganize this page. And then I already had this one, and now I have the matching Hyunjin. And then both Mino and Hyunjin's double-sided cards. And that was it for Stray Kids. I just really like these cards from this era ages ago and was trying to fill a Pokemarket box, and these were super cheap. That's everything for this binder. Next, I have 3 random girl group cards. First 3 are for IVE, which I've also kind of changed this up a bit. I condensed down some of the cards I had and then put these in spreads. So for this page, I have this Yujin card from After Like that Rihanna gave me, and it fits perfectly here next to this Liz card from After Like. And then lastly, I have these 2 Pobs of Yujin and Liz from I've Switch that are from Apple Music. Love these cards. I loved the red hair, it was so iconic, and I got these from a K-pop store that was selling them for like $2 each. And yeah, that's my IVE collection now. It's pretty pared down and eclectic. I really just collected like pulls and other stuff like that I accumulated over the eras. And then the last girl group card I have is this Lily card from Antwerp. I mentioned in my last video that fish were my favorite animal, so when I found out about this card, I had to get it immediately because my nmixx bias wearing a fish top, yep, for me. And that was everything for this binder. Next group up is enhypen. Don't have that many cards for this collection, but I have a few. So moving to Orange Blood. I finally have the last selfie to complete this album. And then I reorganized this page to be all symmetrical, so all of these match, and then all of the orange sweater in the middle. And the last thing for this era was this sticker that used to be on the front, but I'm just going to put it on the back now. And then last for enhypen, I actually have an OT7 set, which I've not had in literally years, but I got the set of their Dark Moon memorabilia character cards because I actually collect their webtoon, and I'm really into collecting character cards and like anime merch right now outside of K-pop, and this is like literally the perfect blend of the two. And these cards were super cheap because they came in a set, so I just decided to get everybody. And then I also got these 2 Polaroids of Sunwoo and Sunghoon because they were really cheap, and I'm just going to put them on the corners here. But yeah, absolutely obsessed with this set because they look just like anime character cards. And I'd love to see TXT do this with their Starseekers webtoon. But that was it for enhypen. I don't really have anything for their Romance Untold comeback because I really just plan to collect Sunwoo's complete set on Bai, and I haven't got around to that yet because that's kind of a low prio, but I'll do it eventually. Next up, CIX. Honestly, I used to be super into collecting CIX, but now with everything going on, it's all just kind of depressing. Nonetheless, I have a bunch of cards stored up from the last 6 months. Also, in the time that I filmed my last video, I actually saw CIX on tour for the 2nd time, which I guess is bittersweet now thinking back since Jin Young left the group, but thank God I got to see him on their most recent tour, because in terms of set list and performance, I loved this one so much more than the first time I saw them, and I also got to meet them and do snapshots, so that was amazing. And also, this is just a group card I've had for forever that I plan to just fill up this first page with some OT5 group cards. Next up, I have a couple pobs for Chapter 0. So first I have this one that matches this outfit, and then also this one, which is the pair to this one. Then moving on to Wave Era, I have this special card that was actually gifted to me by a viewer who reached out to me on Instagram, which was just such a thoughtful gesture, and I'm extremely grateful. This card doesn't really match this page right now because this page of like sailor outfits is kind of filled up, but I actually took this to the tour with me and put it in a photocard holder, so it can just hang out here for now. Next comeback that I haven't started yet, I have all 4 of his album cards. So here are the first 2, and then the red background ones. Absolutely love these 2. Then I have 2 pobs. I have a couple more on the way from Poke Market, but this collection's kind of been in the back of my mind lately. This one, of course, because he's holding a fish plushie. Then for this page, I have these 3 Seasons Greeting photo cards. I think they're from this year, like the one that happened in December, but honestly not sure. I've had these for so long. Then for this page, I have 2 of his tour photo cards. One of these came with being VIP, and then the other one was from the 10 case merch set. And they'll fit perfectly on this page because this is a tour card. And yeah, that was everything for CIX. To be honest, not really sure how I'm going to progress with this collection in the future, because I don't know how active they're going to be. I know they're having a comeback coming up soon, but I don't know, that all seems precarious and kind of weird to think about collecting wise. And I know Sunghoon is also in BDU, but I'm kind of just casually observing that from the sidelines, not really investing too much energy into that. But for now, this is my current collection as it stands. Honestly, pretty thorough, but it's kind of sad to think about now. For TXT, I basically have all of the cards from their most recent comeback, Minisode 3. Which are going to go on the last pages of this binder, and then I'll have to get another one. I think this is my favorite Taeyong card of all time. This blonde hair card from the postcard version. By far my favorite card he's ever had. And I collected OT5 for this because I loved this whole set, loved the whole concept, all of it. And then also have his other ones, so Ethereal, Romantic, and Promise. And fun TXT update. At the end of May, I saw TXT in Atlanta. TXT is one of the few groups that I had never seen in concert, despite standing them for a very long time. TXT is actually the oldest group that I still currently stan. Like, they were the second group I ever got into, and I'm still into them now, which most of the groups I started out liking, I basically don't really stan any of them anymore, but TXT is the oldest group, and so many of their tours had come and gone, and I just never got tickets. But for this tour, the way the dates lined up with some other stuff I was already doing, I would have actually never forgiven myself for not going when I was already going to be in town. And due to the circumstances of me already being in Atlanta, I actually asked one of my work friends to go with me, who's very, very casually getting into K-pop. I kind of got her into it, but that was her very first K-pop concert ever, and she loved it. It was such a great experience to go with someone who was newly getting into all of it and like kind of experiencing it. And since K-pop concerting is much different than, I would say, Western artist concerts, just how the concerts are different and just the whole energy just being much more, I guess, elevated, and elevated in a different sense. It was just such an amazing experience. And then I finally got to check TXT off my concert bucket list. And now, of the top 5 K-pop groups that I stan, being ateez, Cravity, CIX, TXT, enhypen, I've now seen 4 of the 5. So enhypen is just the last group I need to check off, and then I'll have seen all of my faves live. And yeah, the concert was amazing. Literally got such last-minute tickets in the nosebleeds, and still was 10 out of 10. And also, these are all the cards I just put away. So, the 4 regular album cards, and then his 4 Weavers cards. And then lastly, for this binder, on this final page, I have these 2 Japanese cards from Sweet, I think. This is kind of my favorite Taeyong hair color ever. And these were super cheap on Buy or Pokemarket, one of the 2. And now I finally have some cards from my favorite Taeyong era, which is the same as this unit card on the front. But with that, this binder is full. And also, just felt the need to show this, but after the concert, I was pretty much like, alright, TXT, semi-ult status, I'm gonna collect top 3. And I started a decent amount, but then kind of slowed down on this because I didn't buy the binder I wanted to put them in, and now I kind of have other priorities, but this is started for when I decide to continue again. Some of these cards I already had, like most of these I already had in my collection, but my other 2 biases are Yeonjun and Hyunkai, so I bought like all of his set for Fighter Escape. Then I already had all of these Yeonjuns and all of these, and then I bought all of their sets from Temptation because these are my favorite TXT cards from any era. So I have all of their normal album cards for both of them, and then the Lullaby and Weavers versions. Truly their best cards ever. And then I already had these from Free Fall. And yeah, this is just something that I am working on in the background. And then I'll finally get a binder to put these in. I want a A5 wide 6-pocket binder to do top 3 in, like Taeyong, Yeonjun, Kai, in that type of format. So whenever I get to that, I have a decent start. Alright, and now I have major updates to my Cravity collection. If you've been watching this channel for a while, you'd know that Cravity is like my second biggest collection and second favorite collection. I literally have a whole entire giant binder for them. And also that I've been collecting them since debut 2020, and my collection consists of Serum, Jungmo, and Mini. Well, sometime around a couple comebacks ago, I think around New Wave, which at this point was like 4 eras ago, my bias line kind of changed up, and my top 3 were Serum, Jungmo, and Taeyong. And I fully planned to collect his cards that era, but then, I don't know, I really like Mini's cards, and I kind of just had everyone, so I collected all 4 of them, but stored Mini, and then kind of just kept going with that because it was so consistent. And for a bunch of different reasons, I never committed to collecting Taeyong. whether adding him on or replacing Minnie with his cards. But then somewhere along the line even further, Taeyong became my second bias, and at that point I was like, what am I doing? Like, I'm not even collecting my second bias. Like, it hurts my brain to just not buy his cards when I'm buying the other three. So after literally thinking about this for probably a year, I have committed to collecting Taeyong all the way. First, I was just going to replace all of Minnie's cards with Taeyong on the third row, so I kind of started that. All of his cards that I've bought are all set on the way, and then if it was a merch card, I went ahead and replaced it already because I had most of his merch cards on hand already because I just bought all of the merch releases and they all came with OT9 sets. So for a lot of this, I already have his stuff on hand. Not really album cards though, or POBs, so I did a lot of work on buying those, and then I already replaced these. But then somewhere further along the line, I decided I'm just going to keep the mini cards too because I don't want to put them somewhere else, and I don't want to get rid of them because he's still my fourth bias, and I also have literally collected him since 2020. Kind of 2019 with X1. But I just decided I also want those cards, and I also worked really hard to get all of them, and it's complete. Like, I have every single one of his cards up until even the current era. Then I decided I'm just gonna get a 12 pocket binder, the one with the extra column right here from Meow Cafe, and fully just commit, like, all the way. Which I honestly can't believe I'm doing because, like, I've never collected 4 members for a group like this thoroughly ever. I collect OT for ateez, but that's kind of different. But I genuinely never thought I would collect 4 members for Cravity. I thought maybe one day I would collect Taeyong, or many times I had the thought, well, I'll just start Taeyong from right now forward and just go completely forward with him and then have Minnie from the past. But I don't know, these thoughts have just been swirling in my head for genuinely the last year. And honestly, since New Wave, when Taeyong became my third bias, and then he became my second bias, and now here we are. Soon, that binder is going to come with those 12 pocket pages, and I'm truly going to commit to just having all 4 members for everything. Most of his cards are extremely easy, because luckily Taeyong is in the lower 50% of cheap members to collect, so all of his cards are extremely cheap. Also, Gravity's cheap regardless, but there's a few really difficult cards that I'm just not going to get, like this collect book card right here, which, yeah, no clue how I even have these 3, like, literally not at all, but that's gonna be difficult. And then his POBs aren't really hard. Pretty much every single one of his POBs is easy. There's a few other merch cards that are difficult, but luckily I already had some. Like, this is a POB for Season's Greetings, and then I have this POB for Season's Greetings, so I already had some somehow. I don't really know how, but yeah, it's going to be a commitment. But also, I've kind of already bought most of it because there was this bulk set on Buy that I bought that had like 200 cards in it, genuinely. These cards are going to be difficult for him. Otherwise, I'm really excited, and I cannot wait to see how it looks. But I'm going to have to buy more sleeves, and I already bought the binders and the pocket pages, which was pretty expensive. Yeah, I'm excited. I've pretty much finished him for most things, except for a couple albums where I need to get POBs, but otherwise, it's honestly gone extremely fast. I'm probably like 85% done. There's just a few more POBs I need to get for 2 eras, and then some more merch cards, but literally extremely quick process. I kind of just blinked and almost completed him because it's so cheap. Like, he's really cheap on his own, and then the Cravity as a group is just easy to collect. With all that out of the way, I have this huge stack of Cravity cards to store now. First things first, this binder is not going to close once I store all these cards away, and I'm going to have to split it. But we will cross that bridge in like 20 minutes when we get there. First things first, I have some more POBs for Sunseeker, and for pretty much all the cards I have right now on hand, I already have Taeyong's because I've sort of been collecting him on the side where they came from OT9 sets, and I just took his card out. But I'm just going to store my top 3 since I have all of Minnie's cards on hand and complete, and I haven't really started replacing his album cards yet. I've really only replaced his merch cards physically in my binder. Even if I already have the album cards, I'm just keeping them to the side so it doesn't look weird where it's like Minnie and Taeyong in the same album. But for this, I have these 2 sets. I think I'm gonna reorganize this page. These cards here. And then put all these cards on the next page. These bunny cards right here, truly my highest prio of the whole era. And then I'll just find another pop set to put right here. So that's Sunseeker. Then moving on to Sea Crew, I finally have more of their Christmas cards. So this bottom set will be for the normal Christmas ones, and then this row will be for the snowman ones. I have this Jungmo on the way, this mini on the way, and then the Taeyong equivalent of this row is honestly extremely hard to find, so who knows when I'm ever gonna get that, but luckily I have 7 out of the 8 that I need, and that's those. Then all of this is Evershine, starting out with their units. And speaking of Evershine and their most recent comeback, Cravity are currently on Road to Kingdom. I'm sure everyone knows this if you keep up with that. And genuinely, Cravity being on Road to Kingdom is the best thing that ever happened to me. I'm not even kidding. Their 2 stages of Sugar Rush Ride and Love or Die actually changed my brain chemistry. The way they have elevated those 2 songs that I already loved both, because I kind of had the realization recently that maybe Love or Die is my favorite Cravity title track, which says a lot because it was groovy for forever. But Love or Die actually, I think, surpassed it at number 1, and the way they just performed that with Minnie and Taeyong as the aces, they've elevated that song, they changed the mixing and composition, and that performance and Sugar Rush Ride were basically like end of the year award show level stages. Absolutely amazing, stunning, flawless, spectacular, first place. Just crown them now. Like, this is the actual attention and exposure I needed Cravity to have for the last 4 years, when absolutely no one was acknowledging them. And the way their Sugar Rush Ride cover made the waves on Twitter with like every single fandom, I've never felt more vindicated in my life to love Cravity. Like, I low-key feel so arrogant knowing I've loved them since debut. Literally meant to organize these cards and then forgot to do that. So. Do not love this. But yeah, with my little Kingdom rant out of the way, genuinely think I have watched the Sugar Rush Ride and Love or Die stages 100 times each. And I think I've heard Cravity sing Sugar Rush Ride more than I ever listened to TXT sing that song. Okay, I am much more satisfied with this. Also, if you got anything out of that Kingdom rant, just check out those 2 stages, it'll change your life. And if you want to collect Cravity after that, they're extremely cheap and have amazing photo cards. Next up, album cards, and yeah, I have Taeyong for literally all of these, but I will put them away later when I get the new binder in. Some of those cards were courtesy of Brianna, and some of them I just already had from polls and OT9 sets and stuff. So we have version 1, version 2, and version 3. Then the jewel case cards. Then the Starship Square cards that came if you bought the big set. Then to complete this page, I have these Soundwave Lucky Draws, where they're holding hot packs. Absolutely love these cards because they're outdoors and super colorful. That completes this page. I thought they balanced out this top set nicely. Then I have a bunch of pobs. Didn't really think about how I was going to lay out these pages, but I'll probably change it once I get the rest I bought on hand, because I have like 2 or 3 more sets on the way. So these are Beat Road. This is Apple Music with the lollipops. Love these. I think this is K-Town. Then these are With Mew, MMT. I think these are Music Plant. No clue which one this one is. And these are MMT. I think this card is so cute. And then I separated these out because Minnie has brown hair and he has red hair and all of those. And then I have this space up here left for these cards. Love these 2 cards so much. And Minnie has brown hair in this card, so it will go right here. But yes, that is all of the Evershine cards I had on hand. So a bunch of pop sets, I think 9 pop sets, and then all of the album cards and all the units. And probably by my next video, I will have a completely different binder with Taeyong in this column. Yeah, when I get those Meow Cafe pages, I'm just gonna get 2 1.5 inch binders because this is crazy. And like always, last group I have to put away is ateez. I have this big stack of Will era cards and other merch, but I also have literally all of this unsleeved. This is all golden hour. I don't think I'm gonna include it in this video because none of it's sleeved yet, and it would take me forever to edit this. Just know this will be my next video right after this one. And I also set up this new binder to just have Will era and golden hour because it was not all gonna fit in the other binder it was in. Also, I already put it away, but this card right here was not stored in my last video, but I put it away ages ago just to, I don't know, film a TikTok or something. And the first cards I have for this binder are some OTA pop sets. And the first one I have is Market Shop. And on theme with almost all the other groups I put away in this video, I just recently saw ateez a couple months ago on their most recent tour. It's actually my 4th time seeing them, and this time I went to Texas, so it's my first time not seeing them in Atlanta. Their concert was in Globe Life Field, which is the biggest venue I have ever seen a concert in. It was my first ever stadium instead of just arenas, and I think the capacity of that venue was 40,000 or something. And as I expected, nothing less. The concert was amazing. I had such good seats. I was on the floor, but it was seated floor, so it made the experience 100,000 times better because there was no worry about camping or not being able to get up, get food, go to the bathroom, anything. It was such an amazing experience. And I managed to get all the merch I wanted. We went to the pop-up the day before. Truly just the fullest ateez concert going experience. And this was the mini record set. Next up, one of my favorite sets of the whole era, this Inter-Asia set. the teddy bear mixed with the teddy bear pajamas. 11 out of 10 set. Next up, DMC. Really love this Yosan card. Then I have this From Store set. And then the last two sets for this binder are these Everline sets. I think these might actually be some kind of Japanese tour card, but they look like album pobs, and they're from the era, so I'm just gonna put them in with this section instead of in the merch binder, because they had other pobs for the era that looked just like these. So this is the first set. These are my two faves. Then the second set. I swear, with the rate I upload videos, I basically put away every comeback a whole era late because this is all Golden Hour, and Golden Hour has already come and gone. And then for the rest of this binder, I have all these cards that are non-OT8 pobs. So this first page are for 3 sets that have a yellow tone to them. So we have the Make Star Tangerine cards, the Apple Music trophy cards, and then the Everline yellow plushie card. I know typically I would put this card here and this card here so it'd be symmetrical, but this is more satisfying to my brain, so I'm gonna leave it like this for now. It's more satisfying because the cards like face each other, so it looks more balanced. And they all have a very distinct yellow tone to them. Then this set, that all have a sort of pink or white tone to them. So we have the Market Shop cards with the headbands, then the From Store card with the chocolate bars, and then the other Everline plushie that's pink. These two Everline cards and these two Everline cards, cutest of all time. Then next up is this page, which is the Hello Live hoodie card, Make Star double-sided card, and Talk Talk. And this might be my favorite page of the era. I think these cards are all so adorable, especially the poses. And this is my favorite San card of all of Will era. This hoodie card, my #1. And again, typically this would go here and this would go here, but it looks better because the cards are going the same direction. I'm going to leave it like this and then see how I feel. Then lastly for this page, I have these other Make Star double-sided cards. And I collected the San one twice because I just wanted to show this side of the card. And I need to find something else to put on this page, but for now, this is fine. And I'm running out of fillers, so I'll do that later. Yeah, these were all of the non-OT8 pobs I collected. So this page of the fishy cards and then the angel cards, this set, these Make Star cards, the yellow page, the pink and white page, and then these ones, which is probably my favorite because of this card and this card. These ones are also double-sided, but I didn't really care about what was on the back. And that is everything I had for Will Era. All of this is pre-set up for Golden Hour, which I will be putting away first thing in my next video. And lastly for this video, I have cards to put away for this binder. I have a bunch more OT8 sets for their Not Okay Japanese comeback. This first set was the Flash set. These cards kind of look like a bunch of the other cards I collected for this album, but they were like $5 for all 8, so might as well. Then this is HMV, which are these larger cards, and they're clear cards, or sort of transparent, but it doesn't really make a difference for me since I already put them in white sleeves. Then we have UMS, and that set is in these outfits, same as these ones right here. And then the last cards I have for this video are these 6 cards from their tour. These first ones are some kind of Japan fan cafe cards, maybe, I'm not sure, but I know they're from the Will to Power tour in some capacity. And then I have these 2, which are also related in somehow. There's some kind of From Store card. And then these last 2 are technically POBs from Will Era, I think. But I think these photos were taken sometime around when they were doing the Asia part of their tour, so I'm just going to put them on this page because it looks good. And I think they're from like a fan sign, like an in-person one, so in some capacity, it's related to tour in my head, and they look similar. But with that, those are the final cards I had for this video. I have some more of their tour cards from the tour I actually went on, like the benefit cards you got from buying their merch. But I haven't really set up how I want that to look yet, so I'm gonna plan that out later and then put them away in my next video, along with all of Golden Hour. Finally, I recorded a video after almost 7 months. You might be able to tell, but there was even a gap in time between the first part of this video and me finishing it now, like literally a month. Because, yeah, I don't know, I don't even really have an excuse. But if you're still watching this video, thank you so much for watching, even though there was a huge break in videos. For a brief part of that 7-month span, I kind of was out of the photo card collecting game, but I'm definitely back interested now, because my interest in continuing my ateez collection has pretty much always been there, but I'm really motivated on my cravity collection, and then all the collections I kind of recontinued by them having comebacks or seeing them on tour. And a bit of update in my personal life, I actually just got a job promotion, so I make a decent amount more money so I can kind of re-interest myself in collecting photo cards, because for a little while, I wasn't collecting that much because I didn't really have that much disposable income that I wanted to dedicate to this, because outside of photo cards, I also really am into anime and manga now, so both collecting manga and then collecting anime merch, which can honestly get crazy expensive. And I have so many hobbies going on at one time, and also I can't like anything casually, like I'm 0 or 100 for anything. Also in the last 6 months, I completely renovated my entire bedroom and spare room, so I'm basically existing in like a whole new space and have a new filming setup. So that was also taking up a lot of my time and especially funds. So that's kind of why photo card collecting was put on the back burner, but we're back now. Excited to continue collecting forward and seeing what's going to come for the end of this year. Cannot believe 2024 is almost over, because I blinked and it was March and then it was July and now it's October. But yeah, after all that rambling, if you're still watching this video, leave any fall or Halloween themed emoji down in the comments below and chat with me about literally anything, because responding to comments is probably my favorite part of YouTube. And there's literally been so much that's happened since I last posted a video, and also so many topics, comebacks, and concerts I discussed in this video. So please chat with me about literally anything. Yeah, thank you all so much for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next video.